Tonight I rise to speak about the current dispute at Dubai Ports, DP World at Botany, New South Wales. The Maritime Union of Australia have been negotiating with DP Ports in good faith for 6 months, attempting to reach agreement on a new EBA that would ensure workers have secure jobs, safety in the workplace and a pay deal that can keep up with inflation and the cost of living crisis. Despite already paying significantly less than neighbouring terminal operators and the Australian industry average, DP World has refused to back down from a position of pay cuts and negotiate in good faith with the MUA. In the face of protected industrial action, DP World's negotiators are now refusing to meet with the union at all, further delaying necessary pay rises and safety entitlements for the workers. The continued drawing out of negotiations by DP World is a blatant attempt to try and game industrial relations laws to force negotiations before the new intractable bargaining system, where they hope to push through an agreement that guts pay, conditions and job security for the workers. According to the Guardian newspaper, DP Ports has paid exactly $0 in corporate tax since 2015, despite generating $4.5 billion in revenue over this same period, including a record $840 million in revenue brought in over the last financial year. It is astounding for a company that saw a 140% increase in profits over the last year to argue that they can't support pay rises that keep up with the cost of living and having a lend to the Australian community by not paying tax. It has recently hiked up its port charges by more than 50%, which will have a severe and detrimental consequences for the entire supply chain. Not only will consumers pay more, but worryingly, this will encourage cost cutting along the whole supply chain and endanger the safety of workers at DP Ports. Those workers did their duty during COVID and kept the port running throughout. Instead of being rewarded for their loyal and diligent service, they're now being attacked by a company that's seeking to cut their conditions of employment and their pay. The company recently had the audacity to email members of Parliament across Australia and complain that the union was taking protected industrial action as part of the bargaining process. They wanted members of Parliament to intervene to stop the union from seeking a fair deal on behalf of its members. Some free advice for the company is that if you want industrial action to end, then bargain in good faith and reach an agreement. A sign of the reckless disregard that this company has for its obligations to its workers and the public was expounded in the recent cyber attack that it suffered. It is difficult to believe that it was anything but mismanagement and cost-cutting that led to this cyber attack disaster. One that's put the private data of workers, customers and others at serious risk. They even failed to take up the generous offer made by the Maritime Union of Australia to assist them to move containers using a paper-based system until they recovered from that cyber attack. I was honoured to visit DP World workers at Port Botany last week and hear from them firsthand about their working conditions and how negotiations have reached where they are now. I stand in solidarity with them and their union as they fight for a just and fair outcome. I hope DP World returns to the bargaining table and can see the necessity in what workers and the MUA are arguing for. Otherwise, there's an old saying in the CFMEU, that is, I quote, that there is no satisfaction without industrial action. MUA?
Here to stay.
MUA?
Here to stay.
MUA?
Here to stay.
Good luck to the workers. I stand in solidarity with you. I'm sure you're going to win this dispute.